Oh, I do like a bit of gorgonzola. Wallace and Gromit in the wrong trousers, directed once again by Nick Park and is the second installment in the Wallace and Gromit franchise overall, and was released in 1993, just 4 years after A Grand Day Out. Now, The Wrong Trousers tells the story of where it's Gromit's birthday in February, and Wallace gets a Gromit his latest invention for his birthday, techno trousers. But when Wallace is broke financially and has bills to pay, he calls in a lodger who turns out to be a penguin who seemingly replaces Gromit as Wallace's favorite companion. So, but but Gromit soon discovers that Feathers is indeed up to no good and is an evil criminal mastermind known as Feathers McGraw, who plots to use the techno trousers to steal the museum's diamond. Now, A Grand Day Out was only the beginning. Nick had plans for far more adventures for the duo that's made him a household name. And in 1990, work on the movie started nearly immediately. The Wrong Trousers only took 2 years to make in comparison to A Grand Day Out taking 6 years, as Nick was clearly more confident with making this one. And while A Grand Day Out was a student film, the Wrong Trousers is clearly feels more like a movie, like a professional one, and more cinematic with a far bigger production team behind it. At least 20 animators worked on this film. And you can tell that's the budget and production value since A Grand Day Out has been upped in every conceivable way. And The Wrong Trousers is seemingly the fan favorite Wallace and Gromit movie. It deservedly has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and was such runaway hit. It won over 30 international awards, one for every minute of its length, in fact, making it one of the most successful animations ever made. And this is uh, no competition, a better movie and an improvement over A Grand Day Out. So, and I love A Grand Day Out, but The Wrong Trousers takes Wallace and Gromit to the next level. So you can tell my review for this absolute masterpiece is going to be nothing but glowing. And this would be my second favourite of the Wallace and Gromit shorts and my third favourite in the franchise overall. It's in my top three, hands down. It could potentially be my favourite movie of 1993 because 1993 doesn't have a lot of competition, certainly not in animation. Where A Grand Day Out was Wallace's story, this is clearly Gromit's story. How, well, it's Gromit's birthday to begin with, and how the techno trousers are Gromit's present, and Gromit is the one that's is forced to make the decision to leave his home heartbreakingly, but he becomes the hero and picks up one that what Wallace can't see because Wallace is that's naive and oblivious. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Without Gromit, Wallace would be dead 10 times over. And this one has more emotion to it than A Grand Day Out ever had, especially the moment when Gromit is in his doghouse and he's packing his things because he's had enough of the penguin replacing him. And he glances at that photo of him and Wallace, and you just can't help but shed a tear for the poor doggy. And when the penguin steals Gromit's room and plays extremely loud music at night, preventing Gromit from sleeping, even when Gromit goes out to his doghouse to keep away from the noise, he had no idea the penguin wasn't even in the room. So Gromit can tell that the penguin is a dicker from the get-go. And Wallace in this one, he is more used as a plot device, as the one who invents the trousers and the one who Feathers uses inside the trousers to steal the diamond. And you just you want to talk some sense into Wallace for so stupidly and easily trusting this criminal penguin. But still, Wallace has well, some of the best comedy in this movie and the best laughs. And Peter Sallis's vocal performance, I think, is even better here. I think Sallis is fully confident in his voice acting at this point, and my favorite lines from him in this movie would be "cracking toast, Gromit," and I do like a bit of gorgonzola. Every Wallace and Gromit fan alive knows that quote. But like A Grand Day Out, there's only 3 characters in the short to mention, and the main antagonist, Feathers McGraw, oh, completely and utter step up, one from the cooker from A Grand Day Out. I wouldn't blame you if Feathers McGraw was your favourite Wallace and Gromit antagonist, because yeah, he's one of my absolute favourite. I mean, they made a penguin unsettling and creepy. I mean, the majority of penguins in movies are adorable, but not Feathers. You can just see in his beady eyes that look like the eyes of the Canadians in South Park, how just pure evil he is, and what's even more terrifying about him is that, like Gromit, he never talks. Wallace is once again the only character in this movie with dialogue, but Feathers, his beak never moves, so he very much acts like a stalker and a killer the entire time he's on screen. You get this vibe about him that no, this that Wallace kick this penguin the fuck out now, and it's so clever how he dresses as a chicken when just to hide his identity from the law, and I can see why they brought him back in the recent movie Vengeance Most Foul. And while this plot makes more sense and is more grounded and down to earth than A Grand Day Out, it still feels very much like a big adventure in just 30 minutes. And we get to see more of Wallace and Gromit's house this time, you know, their dining room, their living room, and Wallace and Gromit's room, and even outside of their home in their neighborhood on 62 West Wallaby Street, and the museum being the most impressive set piece in the entire film. And if you take a close peek, you will notice that the Jaguar from Creature Comforts is on display in that museum. And the soundtrack by Julian Knott is far superior here to A Grand Day Out. I mean, the Wallace and Gromit theme sounds even better this time and more refined, and this is a far darker movie than A Grand Day Out. I mean, there's more stakes to it, and like the moment when Gromit leaves and Feathers is looking overjoyed, and then when he's about to operate on the trousers, the music goes all sinister and dark, and you're like, oh, I called it that this penguin was not to be trusted, and you become worried sick for Wallace and Gromit's safety with this murderer staying and thief staying in their house. And I have to say, Wallace has to be the heaviest sleeper in all of film in the moment when Feathers uses him to steal the diamond in the heist. How on earth did he sleep through, you know, a penguin walking him up a high wall in those techno trousers, given all the noise the trousers would make? The museum heist itself is a true edge of your seats moment. I mean, your heart just races for Wallace and his well-being. The entire time you're screaming at Feathers McGraw, uh, let Wallace out of these trousers this minute, you tyke. But the most well-known scene in the movie, you all know what I'm talking about. The scene that is not possible to review The Wrong Trousers without talking about the climactic train fight. This train scene is one of the uh, greatest climaxes and scenes in all of animation, stop motion or not, and one of the best and most impressive scenes Aardman has ever animated. Even the climax of Toy Story took inspiration from this finale. It's a proper finale, like with Feathers McGraw pulling out his freaking gun, which could literally kill Gromit or Wallace. Feathers kind of shot himself in the flipper when he shot the lever that changes the train track, and Wallace grabs the gun from Feathers. But my favourite part is Gromit putting down the train tracks literally at lightning speed. To this day, you just go, how on earth did they animate that? I mean, Helen Gardner, the editor of this movie, she doesn't get enough credit. I haven't heard any Wrong Trousers reviews praise her editing, but she deserves a special mention because without her absolutely spot on editing, that's remarkable train scene would not have been possible. And when they finally capture the thieving birds, Wallace goes, "Well done, we did it, haha!" And then you're like, "Indeed, they did," because The Wrong Trousers won the Wallace and Gromit's franchise first Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film, high and rightly so. And the ending of the movie wraps up everything perfectly with Feathers being locked in the zoo for his crimes and the reward money paying off all of Wallace and Gromit's troubles. So overall, there is nothing wrong with The Wrong Trousers. It is peak Wallace and Gromit in all the right ways. Best possible way to continue the franchise and to expand the franchise after A Grand Day Out, and one of the best short movies ever made. No period. And my favorite part and my favorite parts, the train chase, just cracking. I give The Wrong Trousers 5 stars out of 5. Best movie ever. Another cracker, Gromit. So yeah, we are just halfway through the Wallace and Gromit shorts, and now just 2 more to go before we get to Vengeance Most Foul. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and have a good weekend. And what are your thoughts on The Wrong Trousers? Is it your favourite Wallace and Gromit movie like the majority, or not quite? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, and I'll see you next time when I review my favourite of the Wallace and Gromit shorts, A Close Shave. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.